are Olympic athletes, the best athletes that represent their country. And that is me.
And then there's me, an average 21-year-old.
I've always wanted to see how average people will fare against Olympians. So in this video, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat like an Olympian and I'm going to train like an Olympian.
And also do subscribe to become a part of the community. Look what I'm doing for you. I booked an entire stadium all for this video. But seriously, hope they don't kick me out.
I also wanted to look like an Olympian. So on a Saturday evening after work, I went shopping.
Quick stop to Decathlon so that I look like an athlete and feel like an athlete.
After getting home that evening, I started training and preparing myself for the next day, which was basically me just watching YouTube videos and trying to recreate what they were trying to teach. The next morning, I started off with the 5,000 meter race. I also needed to find a flat road or a flat track in order to complete the run. So, I decided I would start the race from Vidhan Saudha, past the tall building and to the road near Cubbon Park and towards MG Road. From there, it would be a 2-kilometer stretch of straight road all the way to Trinity and back to MG Road, which would make it a total of 5 kilometers. And this is a representation of how it looked like. I definitely wanted to pace myself so that I don't get too tired too fast, but at the same time, I also wanted to maintain a fast pace.
Yeah, I'm done.
In the end, it took me 24 minutes and 10 seconds. And the world record is 12 minutes and 35 seconds. But I guess the whole objective was to try out all the different events. So I moved on to the next event. The next event was a 100-meter race.
And it's funny how everybody comes to Church Street in the evening and I'm here in the morning at 7 in the morning to race my 100-meter race. And to be honest, it's a really nice road and it's a really flat road, which will be perfect for my 100-meter race. And I think I'm just going to start normally and not like the fancy start that all the athletes do. Yeah, so I was just looking back at the footage and dude, I suck. I took almost 15 seconds.
For the other events, I went to Kanteerva Stadium. Kanteerva Stadium is in the heart of the city. The stadium was built on top of an old lake back in 1977.
And that dome is the Kanteerva Stadium.
And it is situated right opposite Cubbon Park. It is one of Bangalore's best sports complexes. The sports facility has both indoor and outdoor stadiums, which houses various sports. Most of the sports that you can think of will probably be there, like tennis, basketball, badminton, and even martial arts. And even the sports that you can't think of, things like mountain climbing, archery, and fencing, are also there. The stadium also houses a track for the track and field events, and several national teams and also a wannabe YouTuber go there to train. Oh yeah, and one more thing is that I had to do all these events on a single day because I had to go to work the next day. And that's the reason why I'm not able to break the world records, because otherwise the fuck I would have broken it.
So, I'm here at Kanteerva Stadium and I'm just surrounded by all these athletes who come and train here every weekend, and they make me feel so insecure about my athletic abilities. And I'm not even sure if I want to do this or not. Yeah, but it's fine. I'm just here to have fun, so.
After I got to the stadium, I was feeling kind of intimidated and kind of lonely because there was nobody to cheer me on. So I thought I'll take things into my own hands. Much better. And now, since I had people cheering me on, I thought I'll start the 400-meter race,
which is basically 2 laps around this track.
Which took me 1 minute and 15 seconds. And I feel like I'm comparatively better at long distance events compared to the 100-meter race. But nonetheless, it was really tiring. And this is literally how I look like after the race. I'm not even kidding, this is how I look like.
I can't talk. God, that was hard.
It's like I felt things in my heart that I've never felt before. Moving on to the long jump, where you just run and jump in a pit of sand. And because I have long legs, people usually assume that I'll do amazing in long jumps. But let's see how it goes.
As you can see, I suck. And there's also a lot of sand stuck in my shoes. There is one more event that I really wanted to try, which is shot put. But unfortunately, I don't have the balls for it.
After all that running and jumping, I started to get a little hungry. So I thought it was time to eat like an Olympian. So I turned to Google to search for a diet. And over there, I found PV Sindhu's magical diet, which helped her and fueled her to win bronze for the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. And the magical diet is, drumroll please, the magical diet is
a bit of rice and a bit of non-veg, a banana or a drink or
rice, chicken, vegetables and fruits. They more or less eat the same things that we do. After lunch, I had one more event left, which was the weightlifting. But then I also remembered that I'm not an Olympic athlete and I'm actually a student, which meant I had to study. So for the next 3.5 hours, that's what I did. Later that evening, it was time for the last event, which was Olympic weightlifting. In the 2020 Olympics, Mirabai Chanu, weighing 49 kilos, did a 119 kilo clean and jerk, which won her the silver medal. And me, weighing 82 kilos, I thought I'd give it a shot. And I was sure that I couldn't do 119 kilo clean and jerk because I'd never tried it before. But I just aimed for half of that, which was 60 kilos. I first just tried on an empty bar. After a little more warm-up, I was ready. Or at least I thought I was. I loaded the bar with 70 kilos and tried the clean and jerk. On which I failed. In the end, I could do 60 kilos, which was half of what Mirabai did. This brings me to the second part of the video, which is my conclusion and my overall thoughts. And I came to two conclusions. The first conclusion is that I suck at being an athlete. And the second conclusion is that being an athlete is hard, both mentally and physically. Basically, devoting your entire life to one thing and one event, which might not last for a very long time, compared to the hours and the days and the years of practice that they actually put into it.
They wake up every day with a goal, with an objective in mind to try and achieve. And that is how we should try and live our lives too. But at the same time, I've also watched a documentary where the Olympic athletes and athletes in general, after an event is over, they have nothing to strive for.
Win or lose, I've felt a dramatic emptiness.
A good 80%, maybe more, go through some kind of post-Olympic depression.
Which also got me thinking, is that are athletes happy?
Which also brings me to an article that I read on how bronze medalists are actually happier than silver medalists. So how it works in these tournaments is that there's one main final or the winner's final, and then there's a second final, which is the loser's finals. The winner of the main final gets the gold medal, and the loser of that main final gets the silver medal, and the winner of the losers finals gets the bronze medal. And you might expect that their happiness might mirror the order, where gold medalist being the happiest, silver medalist being slightly less happier, and the bronze medalist being the unhappiest among the three. But studies showed that that is actually not true because of a phenomenon called as counterfactual thinking. Counterfactual thinking is where people compare their existing achievements to what they could have achieved. In this case, the silver medalist is standing on the podium because they lost the final to the gold medalist. The thought of losing the finals, where they could have won gold if they would have won the match, is what is making them feel unhappy. But for the bronze medalist, winning the gold medal was never an option, and they are just happy that they are standing on the podium and they got a medal in the first place, which is way better than not winning a medal at all. And this is something that I found really interesting, and I feel like we all can take away something from this thought or the thought process. And the last thing that I want to talk about is sports. And sports in India, though genetics have a huge role to play on how we perform as athletes, where black athletes usually have an edge compared to the Asian counterparts, but that is genetics and we can't really change too much about it. But what we can change is the environment and our whole mindset towards sports. But I feel in India, the environment too has not been the most favorable. In school, we get one PT period every week, which I think all of us used to look forward to. There is also a lot of emphasis on academics, and that is why Indians dominate in the intellectual fields. Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, Indian. Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, Indian. I know that we can't be the best at everything, but I also want to know what you guys think. Should there be more focus on sports, or should we just hone in on our strengths, which is the intellectual work, and just focus on that? So what do you think? Do let me know in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
And that I'm going to do is the 400 meter race, which is basically 2 laps around the field, around this track. The next event that I'm going to do is the 400 meter event, which is basically 2 laps around this track. For some reason, it just feels very exciting to come to like an empty stadium, literally like nobody here.